fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive.
Yo, what's up with your family? What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Daily Chop. We are your host, 438, the currency man, Steve, Mr. International. What's up? And I am your host, Damian Deshawn. What's up with your family?
Good, man.
Good, man. We waiting for Breezy to pop in, but man.
Breezy to pop in here, but thank y'all for tuning in to the Daily Chop. I welcome y'all for being here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And man, we here for this. We finna give y'all the tea. We finna give y'all the scoop.
Give y'all the scoop. Make sure like, share, and subscribe. And please do not forget to hit that notification bell. Make sure you share it on Twitter. Please go over to YouTube at the minimum and hit a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Wipe your feet when you come in the house. But fellas, we're gonna just cut the BS, cut the shit, and we're gonna make sure we going to get to the topics of the day. We'll start. I see I got Breezy's in here. There you go. What up, Breezy?
Yo,
What's up? What's up? Salute to everybody. But we're going to start off by making sure that we didn't do something last week, that we give condolences to Amir Abdul Rahim. He is the brother of Sharif, one of 13 siblings, the head basketball coach of USF, formerly of Kennesaw State. He had a 25, I believe, and 8 record last year at USF. Had some success at Kennesaw State, program builder, believe 43 years old. And we just want to make sure that we give the condolences to the family of Amir Abdul Rahim. And we touch on that a little bit. Anybody else got anything they want to say before we segue on to the next?
Abdul Rahim, and sad to lose him at such a young age. He was most definitely a program builder. Had USF off to a tremendous start last year. Had them boys relevant in basketball, and I hate it had to happen to their program. I'm sorry for his family. Sorry, man. I hate it. I hate it happen, man. Especially to a young back working his up in it.
Rising star, man. That's what I think. It was a rising star in the industry. Guy just had the makeup of a possible NBA coach at some point.
Yeah.
At the very least, he was going to have great success with the USF and then probably move into a bigger program knowing him. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that Kennesaw State run was incredible. I mean, having one win your first year and then turning into a tournament team and winning the conference is insane. So condolences out to his family for sure. Absolutely.
That's what's up. You got anything, Breezy?
Shit, I just want to send my condolences, you feel me, to the family, the friends, everybody, that knew him and stuff like that.
That's what's up. So we're going to move on to the next topic of the day. Everybody's hearing the news that broke as we sit and talk about the possibilities of a young thug being freed, within a year or so, coming home. We got a situation that's been brewing with Lil Durk and the situation between him, OTF, Quando Rondo, and some things that happened a while back in LA. He's facing Fed time over murder for hire charges. He's currently incarcerated or locked up right now, awaiting any kind of trial or any evidence of things going forward. But anybody want to touch on it? They got a little bit more depth in the information. Y'all go ahead and let it fly, man.
Durk, man, I believe he just crashed out. You know what I mean? Like, it's a billion ways to skin a cat. I believe he went about it the wrong way. He let the internet trolls get to him. You came so far. You came from the trenches to throw your life back away. You know what I mean? You locked up for murder for hire. Technically, allegedly, the guy wore a wire for over 2-3 years on you. You know what I mean? And it's kind of crazy because Lil Durk did him a pretty solid when he came home. He gave him $50,000. Gave him a car. So it's just a sad situation. I wish he could have prevented. He wish he could have avoided it. And just took the better route, been a bigger person, and just call a loss a loss. But you know how I go in the street world.
Yeah. What about you, Steve?
It's a sad, man. Sad situation. like 43 said, you came out of that situation and doing a little bit of digging, just know where his family came from. His father, obviously, his father did over 26 years in federal time. being raised by your mother, not having food at home, things like that. For you to be able to build a brand, a label, quote unquote family, and to have this happen, man, it's a shame. They revoked the key to the city to this guy, but unfortunately, Durk is not the one-off situation. We're going to see a lot of more Durks. Snitching is a lot more prevalent than it is, and it was back in the day. I'm a big old mafia guy. Watching movies. We talked about that in the space one time. Maybe we'll get into it another day. But I love the code that some of those guys live by, and the guys, these young kids, man, and these not even young kids. Some of these men just don't live by that same code. They want all the repercussions. They want all the benefits of living that lifestyle of untaxed American dollars in their pocket, but they don't really get the repercussions that comes with it when Uncle Sam comes and knocks on that door. So
go ahead, Breeze.
Yeah, I mean, he did it to himself, to be honest with
you, man.
Yeah, he did it to himself, bro. That's on him.
Yeah, he did.
I ain't got nothing to say about that.
I mean, it tends to be your own family and your own inner circle that end up putting you in that situation, man. And it's like, I guess it's what they say, you do your dirt all by your fucking lonely,
Yeah.
And that way you ain't never got to worry about looking over your shoulder, because nowadays it's always that one that's close to you. And that's even when we talk about mob ties type shit, La Costa Nostra. It's always somebody from the inner circle that turn on the whole organization and the situation. And I think about the video I saw of I believe it was Gilly trying to give him a little advice,
Wallow. Yeah, Gilly Wallow.
Gilly,
Wallow.
Trying to give him a little advice about, once you get to the status and that he made it to, bro, you gotta let that go. You don't have. It's not necessarily selling out, man. You're just moving on. Everybody's goal is to move out of the bad situation if they're in one, and move into a better situation if you're not in a bad situation. So once you reach a status of you touching bands at a different level, then you don't have to resort to that. And the thing is, you can't save everybody. You can't, man. You really can't. Yeah, you can't, man. The best thing you can do is just stay true to the code. All right, man, I'm inactive. I'm still with the family. I'm gonna take care. I put it down for everybody. I'm gonna hold you down. But as far as activity, I'm inactive.
Got people like Rick Baby dry snitching on you.
Yeah, exactly.
No better.
Exactly, man. And it's really something that we're gonna have to keep monitoring, because with everything going on, we know the whole Diddy situation. We see this situation unfolding. We've been watching the YSL and Young Thug situation as it plays out in Atlanta. So we just, just something for us and the viewers. We ought to keep an eye out on. Pray for all those family, those who've been lost to the situations and the senseless situations, and that they all get the right mind and we all move forward as a people, All right, so man. But we're gonna touch in, and I'm gonna drop this real quick as we get into this, and this will be the first time everybody see it, but I hope our viewers like it.
Now we gotta be together to win this dadgum game. Now let's go over some things. Listen to me. Defense. If they don't score, we win.
Understand something, guys. Nothing worth ever having in this world comes easy. Nothing's gonna come easy tonight. Understand that from the first play to the last play. This team's gonna play your tail off. That's good, because we're going to play their tail off. That's what it's about. The things you remember in life are the things that are hard to get. Like what you've been able to persevere through, push through, overcome to be where you're at right now.
On the field. We're opening holes up there. Get in there and go to the goal line with a dadgum ball. I don't need him fancy Danning. Oh, one of you tailbacks ought to tear it up. If you'll protect our passer offensive line, hell, everybody's getting wide open. That Cadillac was wide open, and you let them get to our passer. Protect them.
It's a special group of guys sitting in this room. It's an elite group of guys that have done things that have never been done at Florida State before, or doing things that may never be done again. But understand something, every time you go out, you got to prove your stripes. Score of every game when you start, 0-0. You don't get to carry no points over, you don't get to carry anything over. You got to start and you got to finish. But here's the great thing. You control what happens to you.
Are we going to let them beat us? No. Let's get out there and get on.
All right, guys. Game week. We talked about one of our own returning to Doak. Spent a little time at Vanderbilt before transferring, I believe, 1972 to Florida State. I believe he was a tailback. He spent some time on the staff at FSU under Daryl Muldra. He was on that staff the year before Bobby came as a GA. He is one of us. He actually wanted the job, I believe, after Willie's firing. He wanted the opportunity. He's one of the what, 3 active coaches or 2 active coaches now with a national title. Coach Texas in one of the greatest national championship games that we can recently remember, and it's considered one of the greatest of all time. One thing in this season is unique to him is he has never beaten his alma mater, and we can really just discuss some of his career as we believe actually that it may be winding down, uh, and also the fact that this may be the year he finally gets it, because it's been a lot of trends has been broken this year, and we saw the Duke record be broken. This could be the record where we finally see one of our own who's never beaten us come in and get it done. But anyone want to chop it up and go ahead and talk a little bit about Mack Brown before we get into the game?
Yeah, I
Y'all go
always
ahead and
around as a coach. I always feel like he was one of the older coaches that adjusted to the newer times pretty decent. And I think this year he finally get the dub against his alma mater.
yeah. It's crazy, man. I think he gets that dub, man. But what about you, Steve?
He ain't getting it. He ain't getting it. That's how it's not about how bad we are. We can focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're that good. To be honest, if we stop the running game or even slow the running game down, then we win the game. Reminds me sort of the Cal game when we had Jaden Knott coming into town, one of the best running backs in the country. They're running back, arguably he's a top 5 back in the country, and not getting any publicity because he's playing on a subpar team. But you slow him down like you were able to slow Ott down. I don't think they have enough quarterback play to beat you.
Okay.
Something's got to give, man. Eventually, something's got to give. So, Freedom Youngins again this week, man. Florida State on top.
All right. Breezy, what you got, my boy?
All I'm gonna say is congratulations.
First
About to get the first dub, man.
The first dub. All right, guys. Let's talk a little bit about the game then. Okay, you touched on it already, Steve. Something that we can hit on. I know 438, you talked about it. I'm just gonna bring it up and we'll just flow into it and stay. They got 2 particular defensive linemen that I think could give us a problem. They don't have the greatest defense, but we don't have the great offense. So it's basically immovable object versus unstoppable force right now, or lack thereof on both sides of the ball. We know North Carolina gave up 70 points, but they also scored 50. I am very concerned in this game, as we should be. With 1-7, we look like straight dog shit, man. Even when we have good bright spots, there's still so many negatives that show. I just don't have the confidence in our defense to continue to not play 10 yards off the ball when it's fucking 4th and 1, or third and goddamn for third and short, and you playing 10 yards off and giving it to them. But anybody else want to add anything to the actual game before we move?
Game, man, my personal opinion is I think they're gonna run the ball all over us. We couldn't stop the running game against Miami. We couldn't stop it against Boston College. Hell, we couldn't stop it against fucking Georgia Tech. So I believe it's gonna be more the same thing. We have a problem stopping the running game.
Okay. Breezy, what you got?
I believe you got left cheek and right cheek up the middle that can't stop nothing. I believe they have a field day feasting on our running game. Mack Brown gonna run the ball, control the clock, and he gonna get his first dub.
Okay.
I mean, I ain't really got nothing. To me, it's the same thing as last game, bro. It's about the offense. If the offense could score, it could be an actual game. But if we putting up 7 and 13 points, it's over. It's a wrap.
Okay. For me, I'll go ahead and add something in here too. Like you said, Breezy, before we get to Steve, we haven't scored more than 21 points, once this whole year, right? Mm-hmm. One game. For what the Tar Heels are, they've proven that they can score points. So the goal is to not let them, which is easy, not let them score. But if they get more than 16 points, can we even do anything? Teams know coming in the game, all they got to get through the magic number is 21. We playing fucking blackjack here,
17, fuck 21.
And it's crazy. I mean, I don't want to lose total confidence, but we're sitting here at 1-7. So looking at the aspects of the game, is we can touch on this. Steve, I'm gonna let you go, and then we'll come back around and talk a little bit about the depth chart as we go into this game, because I notice a lot of people are still emotional about that. But Steve, go on and give a little bit more if you got anything else to add to the actual game predictions or score predictions for anyone, and then we'll talk a little bit about the depth chart and
Let's
what
go
we
right
saw.
into the depth chart.
All right, we'll go back into the depth chart. I mean, a lot of people are making big fuss about Brock being seen on there. They're asking questions, is Cam healthy? And it's like Mike does this. He's ever since he's been here, and people still freak out over the goddamn depth chart. At this point, does it really fucking matter? That's my question to all you guys to talk about. And then also with the depth chart, why are we so fixated? I know I had a little dialogue on the timeline on Twitter with someone about it, about the emotional instability over the depth chart and what we commonly see every time this shit's released, how people freak out and have numerous posts, some for engagement, some because they just literally are emotional and it doesn't make any sense. But y'all can go ahead. Breezy, you started off this time, man. Just go ahead and chime in, man.
I mean, honestly, I don't know, bro. This shit is crazy, bro. What was the first part of that question again?
First part of the question is just breaking down what you the depth chart and how our fan base has been so emotional over it, even though we
Okay.
know, we've seen it say X players coming out, and then you find out game day he fucking hurt, he ain't playing. Then you see X players starting, everybody loses their mind, but then somebody else is starting. Or we see the quarterback situation get rotated, even though Brock started the last game, we saw Luke. Everybody's freaking out because Brock's still listed as a starter, and people are starting to get emotional in their feelings about who they want to see the most. And then they kind of spaz about this depth chart shit.
No, I got you. I mean, the depth chart really don't matter. We seen that all season. Mike gonna put in who he want to put in at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah,
we seen it since game one, bro. Like the shit really don't matter for the fans that's going crazy about it. It don't make sense to me. We 1-7. It don't matter. It don't matter who we about to start, who about to bench. It don't matter at all, bro. It's just, you feel me, bro? Like it don't make no sense, son. We be like the fan base, bro. We be snapping over the littlest shit. We be overreacting, bro. Like we 1-7. Do it matter who's starting? Do it matter who's second string? It don't matter. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, some of them players ain't even about to be here. So you feel me? That's
but
all I gotta say about that.
The fan base just hurt. You know what I mean? We hurt. A lot of people in the fan base hurt them, so they find anything to lash out about. Nobody expected 1-7 out of going 13-0. So this 1-7 took everybody by surprise. Everybody hurt. So people just finding some type of way to lash out. Can't blame a passionate fan base.
Yeah,
it does matter, Breeze. Let me tell you why. It matters for the guys who are planning to stay here no matter what. You're gonna have a certain crop of guys. We don't know who those guys are. We want to see if you quit, man. We want to see if you lay down. I approached it a couple of days ago about how many coaches are still recruiting as hard as they can, are still coaching as hard as they can, knowing that they're going to be let go. Whether officially or unofficially, or whether the rumors that we hear. Players got to play. There's some guys that are having opportunities now that they didn't have when we were in Ireland, that they didn't have when we played Memphis, they didn't have when we played Cal. Got to make the most of it. And if you want to leave, that's fine. But you at least got to put some film out.
Yeah.
You at least got to put some film out. There's some guys that, arguably, in my opinion, won't leave because they don't have the film to.
Yeah.
He might have been a 5-star, maybe a 5-star receiver out of South Florida. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where you going to go? What have you put on tape that's going to have a team take a flyer? A team's going to take a flyer, but it ain't going to be Bama. It ain't going to be Ohio State.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be Oregon. So do you want to see that step down, or do you want to see it through? Do you want to get a position coach that you feel can take you to that next level and you be able to revitalize your career? We've seen players revitalize. We've seen players here be dog shit and turn into. I'm seeing a guy got a pick on Sunday for the Jaguars. That was dog shit. Yeah. I hated this guy. And he was one of my favorite players last year.
Exactly.
So some of these kids they're playing for playing time. You talk about the logo matters. They're playing for the opportunity to get playing time next year, whether it's here or next year, here or somewhere else, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I'll add to that too. Another player that we sat there just this year, and we started to see the last two games him emerge, and that's Omar Graham. We've been dropping it down and talk about 9, and he's one of those players that the fan base, a lot of us was ready to throw out the door. I mean, we can all
Hey,
say
I'm
we
gonna give my
had
apology right now, bro. I'm gonna give my apology right now, bro. My
we
fault.
sorry, you know, we're
Hey, my
sorry.
fault, G. That's me.
Yeah.
My fault.
When we all, you know, as a fan base, we are what it is. We all know fans start short for fanatic, so we always gonna have positive and negatives. Some people kind of develop a little later, so we threw him to the wolves, thinking, you know, nothing was there, and we're starting to see sort of like what happened with Deloach in that Boston College game in 2021. He's kind of emerging as not only a consistent player, but he's shown the ability to cover. So it means he can play every down. He's not just a specialist at his position. He's showing ability even before the last two games, the ability to communicate on the field. I
Yep.
noticed that. I noticed, okay, so he's been in the fucking film room. So it means he's starting to, yeah, he's really starting to hit the ground running with seeing and understanding what it is that he needs to do, responsibility, everyone else's responsibility, which allows him, he's starting to be able to play fast and then getting more playing time. So we're seeing that. So yeah, you got my apology too, man. Fourth grade, you got anything else you want to add before we segue to this next big story?
I just want to apologize for my grand man. He has truly been our best linebacker. He have been coming down here, been attacking the ball. He's been physical. You know, he most definitely can tell he's been in the film room, and he's one of the most improved players on the team. Matter of fact, I think he is have been the only bright spot of the defense, besides some the secondary occasionally.
One quick thing, Deshawn, man.
Yeah.
Quick shout out, man, to some of the folks that have already locked in with us today. Shout out to Chip. Love is on the way. Montre, Keith, my dog.
Most definitely.
Shout out to Boss Man, man.
Shout out to Boss
Hey, man.
Man.
You can't hit a
Boss
soap
Man.
in a tub or whatever kind of analogy you got today, Boss Man. You want to hear? The ass cheeks right now, man.
Yeah.
The comedic relief.
We are straight ass. All right, guys. I'm bringing this next one up, and this one's probably going to be part of the meat of our Logo Matter segment because what we're facing, a lot of rumors looming, a lot of suggestions on what should be going on with the coaching staff. But there's someone who's an alum, who's not an alum, as we've all been back and forth. But you're starting to see a trend that's following through a lot within the fan base as a whole, and that's the cloud that is one Deion Sanders. And the noted success is starting with the turnaround in year 2 at Colorado. You're starting to see them look a lot different, especially on the lines of scrimmage than where they looked last year. You're starting to see a lot of other trends, but I want to read this article before we get into it. And this is coming from what Stephen A. Smith said, and then we'll get everybody's takes. But I'm going to read it to you from Stephen A. Smith, and I quote, Stephen Smith had more than one hot take about Deion Sanders before he signed off. Alabama should have hired him. Now, hang on. Before you scratch your head and really contemplate what he just said, Smith said, based on Sanders' performance as a coach this year, Alabama and others should have given him a shot. That includes 71 Texas A&M. Yes, the current 71 Aggies. He said, forget Florida State. Stephen A. went for the SEC when it comes to Sanders getting a shot. That's one topic. Florida State don't care. I don't care about last year. I understand they were undefeated. And then you know what? After their quarterback got hurt, they didn't get picked for the college football playoff, and they were salty about it. Smith said on First Take. They didn't show up and got obliterated by Georgia in the bowl game, but it's looked awful this year. They should have hired Prime at Florida State, his alma mater. They should have hired him at Texas A&M. You know, the SEC. They should have hired him. And I ain't got to lie to you, even though I didn't say anything about it at the time, because the man was a 2-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year and won a national championship, a couple of national championships at the NAIA level, and had Washington in the national championship game last year, damn it. The way Alabama's looking, I think they should have hired him at Alabama. Now, it's a lot to unpack in everything that Steve said. Now, we know our take is going to be Florida State based, but I think we can start at the overall. And I'll just elaborate in here and then y'all can flow and I'll come back. I think a lot of the conversation of the teams he threw out was really just a smoke screen because you can't expect them to have and say higher prime at a team that's 7-1 with Mike Elko. The boards had struggles based off Alabama's standards over the last 16, 17 years, but they're still winning games. They still look competent. We know the obvious with Alabama where there's going to be some change, and it's on the defensive side of the ball. So I think this really was a shot across the bow at Florida State.
Most definitely.
And the current situation. But y'all go ahead and chop it up and go and elaborate.
Quick, man.
Go ahead, Steve.
First and foremost, I'm not listening to anything football related from a guy that scored 1.5 points a game more than I did in college. I'm also not listening to a guy who doesn't care about his hairline, Mr. Smith. When it comes to football, most of your segments, I don't have a percentage, but I'd be willing to say 70 to 80, maybe even 90% of your segments are NFL related. You don't really know about the college game. You don't know the intricacies of what goes on and what takes place to hire a coach, et cetera, et cetera. Right now, you're just pandering for Deion. And that's okay, because you're a brother, man. You're trying to show your blackness, and that's been questioned time and time again. You've been considered a sellout. You've been called a variety of different things. Nobody wants to hear that, man. You're trying to pander for Deion. That's fine. But there's one more thing that I wanted to add to you guys. Last week, I gave y'all a definition. I'm going to give y'all a definition this week as well. The word of the day is pride. A feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated. Consciousness of one's own dignity. That word right there is the main reason why Deion's never come to Florida State. So it's a moot point. We could talk about who we want. We could talk about, hey, man, let's double the block around, double down the block and come get him. Pride is him showing that he's doing this thing in Colorado. He ain't going to come over here. He doesn't like how things were handled with Willie. He doesn't like how he wasn't considered for the job when it was open. And that's fine. But pride is the main reason he's not going to be a coach. And to be honest, I really hope that people stop talking about it because it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Well, you can't say it's not gonna happen because you never can predict the future. You never know what's gonna happen. And from what I'm hearing, from what I heard, the possibility of return is not so far fetched. And this from people that's close to Deion. Like it's not so far fetched, and it's not actually something he don't not think about and something he do not talk about. So and that kind of have been confirmed. Like if Deion had the right opportunity, given chance to come to Florida State, he would take it in a heartbeat. And I have confirmed that. But it at the same time, it would be great for Florida State because at the end of the day, who gonna recruit better than Deion? You get what I'm saying? Who gonna recruit better than Deion? Who gonna give you more that? Who gonna spend that negative energy off you more than Deion?
Okay. I can agree with that part. I agree with both of you. Go ahead, Breezy. You got something?
I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. But I mean, I see the pros in it. I see the pros, but then I see the cons too. You feel me? So it's like. I don't think they're gonna do that.
Okay.
Look at the way he run Colorado. You really think Florida State gonna let that happen?
Look at the way Mike Norvell run Florida State, and they allow this to happen.
I get it. But race plays a role. 438.
Yeah,
I think Willie would have done enough damage to where they don't take it seriously, even though Deion Sanders' pedigree and resume rivals anything Willie could have ever done in his lifetime. Obviously, we talked about it. The storyline alone is worth its weight in gold, man. The prodigal son returns. We can go biblical with it. The kid comes back home. He could spin it however he wants. His son's about to hit the league. His other adopted son, Travis Hunter, is about to be possibly number one pick in the draft. Hey, man, he loves his mom. We know Deion loves his mom. Where's he from? Fort Myers. I know his mom probably lives in Texas in a mansion. But move her back down home, man. I want to be closer to home as some of my other family. He's going to be able to recruit and show these kids. These are the same dorms that I slept in. These are the same halls that I walked by. And look what I was able to do in my career. It'd be worth its weight in gold. In terms of recruiting, whatever the buyout is, and we talk about the Mike Norvell buyout, you'd make that money back. How soon if you hire Deion? Between the Geico commercials, the advertisement dollars, the marketing opportunity. So is that $60 million something that's really, really, really looming? Or would you be able to go ahead and get that as quickly as possible with the master marketer, essentially the best marketer in sports right now, Deion Sanders?
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing both of you alluded to with you, 438 and Steve, is just, I spoke on it, the optics, He's the type of guy that would take the hits that we've been getting as a fan base in the university. He gets those hits as an individual. So he'd take them and absorb them, but he'd be able to counter them with witty strategic marketing, what he says across the podium. He's already going to isolate certain media members. So we wouldn't have that problem with certain members of the beat being certain negativity and positivity at the wrong time. The insensibility, the fuck shit that goes on in our beat. Let's just be honest. Deion would clean that shit up real quick.
Well, you're aware of the beat writer in Colorado that got iced out.
Yeah.
Some of you guys might move a little bit differently, but my only question to you guys, the viewers, what's the last black head coach to win a national championship in college football? Never happened. So if he comes in and does do it at the school that he became the star that he is,
and help build,
the ramifications are you change the game for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Opportunities for people of color, grad assistants, young coaches that want opportunities would come and take a chance. Maybe they take less money or whatever the situation is, to be around the energy, man. This shit would feel like across the tracks. It feel like FAMU at Florida State if Deion was there.
Yeah.
It looked like FAMU on homecoming every Saturday.
Yeah, you think about the last 10 to 12 years of the negative cloud, at least since 2014. But let's put perspective. Our last, one of the best national championship teams of all time, 2013. One of the biggest things I remember about that team is they didn't even get to ride it to the White House. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit that was still left undone and uncompleted with that from that year moving up to now. That is that's kept a cloud hanging over the head of the program, the fan base, just the whole thing. And it's just that's the biggest thing that I see with the optics with Deion is I think that it would change, even though there would be some negative. I think it would start to spin Florida State back into a positive light as a whole. And you are starting to see those, like you spoke to, Steve, with race. We got across the tracks, you know, they starting the Pilgrims are starting to look at it like, well, shit, he is one of us. He'll understand how it built. He's gonna look at Mickey's model. He's gonna look at Bobby's model. He's gonna respect the logo for the most thing. The logo will matter to him, no matter what he says. We all gotta know. We all know anybody that's followed Deion up to now, whether you was a kid and follow him in sports, what he does and what he says with it across the podium or on the mic, it's always something strategic to it, you know. So a lot of people got in their feelings about Hunter. We got to let that go. A lot of people about when he said he didn't go there, you know, he didn't come here. But we all know Deion is inconsistent in a lot of things. He's not without fault. But if he was I'm only speaking to if he was the head coach at FSU, the positives, there are some negatives, but the positives would outweigh and it would actually be able to turn around from the finances to the media to the optics, everything, even the recruiting would take a huge leap. You know, it would be, you know, everybody's saying, well, he ain't done nothing at Colorado, but hit the portal and he's gotten a few people here. What you say, man? Go ahead, 438.
Would generate so much revenue for the city of Tallahassee, it'd be crazy. Ticket sales, you know, tickets will sell out. You know that. You know, so as far as for the school, you know, you need financial equity right now. You need some type of financial income because right now you hand over fish. You remodeling the state. You remodeling the stadium. You're going through a lawsuit. You're paying lawyers. You know, you're trying to get a conference. You still got to try to recruit, do NIL buyouts and all these certain things. So someone like Deion to help generate that revenue quickly. You know, quickly, he could tap into the Jerry Jones, you know, section. You know, sometimes like at Jackson State, he put up his own money. You know, to help staff and things like that. So you need that type of selfish type coach, you know, actually at the same time a dog.
Yeah.
No state tax in Florida either.
No state tax in Florida.
That helps as well.
Exactly.
Want to shout out what Brian Mims said, prime at the helm and winning may get the SEC to take a longer look at FSU. Absolutely. I agree with you as well.
It definitely would.
Never know. Hey, shout out to Rasan.
Rasan's in the house. What's up, Rasan? Hey, okay, so we're going to segue to this part. We just talked about a coach, a former player, a coach of Colorado. Let's get into our current coach and the aspects of the comments that he made about changes, being significant changes at the end of the season and his plan. Yes. A lot of us are looking at this plan and we're like, if it's anything like the plan you had 3 out of the last 5 years, we really don't want nothing to do with it. You know, we don't, because it's not the logo and it's not the standard, you know. We've spoke to it. We're not going to beat the dead horse about it, but the bottom line is this: 3 losing seasons out of 5 at Florida State. We can talk about the 10-3. We can talk about last year, but it's Janet Jackson in this bitch. It's what have you done for me lately? What are you doing now? A lot of people keep throwing out this, and this is something that has irritated me. We use the comparison to talking about college football today, and we compare what Indiana's record was last year prior to now, what they're doing this season. Iowa State, Pitt. But at Florida State, it's about consistency. Why are we not consistent? We've seen Oregon be consistent, Georgia be consistent, Bama be consistent. You're starting to see Texas emerge to that. Ohio State is consistent. Why is Florida State not a consistent program? Everything is there. There is enough revenue. There is enough money. We have a fertile recruiting ground. From the Tidewater to South Georgia, all of Georgia, Metro Atlanta, Central Florida, South Florida, North Florida. You get into Alabama, the Black Belt. You go into the Delta, Mississippi. And then when you want to get cute, you go out to Cal, Texas, and that. Florida State has all of those advantages and abilities. So why is there no consistency now? And that's why I asked you guys, speaking to what Mike has said about his plan, what's your opinions on that?
My opinion is Mike is a mid coach, but like I was told, great coaches make consistent normal. Mid coaches do it sometime, and that's what he do. Sometimes we consistent, but for the most part, you're gonna get what you get. 3 losing seasons out of Mike. He's not a recruiter. He doesn't truly, in my opinion, he doesn't solely truly believe on building the program, based off, home values and home recruits and things like that. So I believe this is what you get. He's gonna live or die in the portal. He's gonna continue to whether he's either gonna strike or he not, and that's what you're gonna get. So you're gonna have an inconsistent program until Mike's gone. The biggest tenure, every school, every program you name had what model was that? They recruited. They recruit well. They recruit well. They stockpile talent, and they're able to reload and replace that talent to stay consistent. When Mike lost all them players last year, he was not able to replace them. Why? Because he wasn't a consistent recruiter. He wasn't great at recruiting, and then he didn't get in the portal. So his plan is gonna be he's gonna go all in the portal, either gonna hit and miss, and we're gonna constantly keep getting this because he don't have a high school recruiting class this year. You bound to lose most of your high school recruits from last year, so you're going to be basically 2 years away. So that's why I said, what Mike get to him, we don't be elite until at least 2030. So by that time, he should be gone. So I'm like, in my personal opinion, I cut the ties now, but that's just my personal opinion. I hope his plan in December is to pack his shit and get the fuck on.
Got you. Go ahead, Breeze.
Shit, honestly, I don't think he got a plan. I mean, if he not focused on upgrading the coaching staff, upgrading the roster, and upgrading player personnel, the GM, I don't know what his plan is. You feel me? Because right now you look at us giving out contract extensions and giving the green light for these coaches to come back. So it's like, I don't think he got a plan, to be honest with you. A lot of shit that he do is questionable, bro. So it's just, I don't know. Mike looking a little shaky right now, so I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah. Go ahead, let it rip, Steve.
Yeah, man. I kind of agree a bit with both of you guys. I mean, I'm questioning everything with Mike now, and I talked about it before. All the trust that he built from 3 wins to 5 to 10 to 13 is all gone, man. And to be honest, I don't trust anything he says at this point. For me, I just want to see some sort of competency at what he's doing. However, I think he definitely will make the changes because he knows that he's on a hot seat now. I think the boosters and once you start seeing decreases in that, then you don't have a choice but to make a change. That's why my last point to this is going to be, I'm almost happy. Nah, wrong word. I'm almost more grateful that this happened this way. Because if we have a 9-3 season, an 8-4 season, and we continue to coast with this mediocre coaching staff, then we're never going to win anything. Yeah. Sometimes you got to rip the Band-Aid all the way. You got to destroy and rebuild. Of course, am I saying I wanted a 1-7 season? Absolutely not. But it's 8-4, 7-5. Maybe he still keeps the same mentality and say, hey, it was a bad year, et cetera, et cetera. We had some injuries at the quarterback. No. Now you don't have any excuses. It's blatant. What's done in the dark is now done in the light.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. I want to speak to what Brian Mims said here. Hubris is the coach's biggest opposition. That's basically pride, excessive pride and self-confidence. I think Mike got bit in the ass by being overconfident by the last 2 years. And overconfident in thinking that his way of doing it was going to be something that was long term, and the inconsistencies have reared its head this year. Even worse than the 2021 team. I mean, the 2021 team, we didn't have a fucking wide receiver to point at, but that 2021 team with Jermaine Johnson, Jordan Travis, with what we had at wide receiver, would have beat the shit out of this team. Just being honest. Because they had a different mindset and attitude. A lot of those players that were the core of last year's team were on that team being developed. I want to put this up here too, because Boss Man, they had me laughing, but I'm gonna throw that up. He don't even trust Mike's family right now. Hey.
You ain't lying.
You ain't lying. He don't even trust their family.
Yeah, this nigga Boss Man crazy. Hey, shout out Boss Man.
Shout out to Boss Man. But Brian came back too, man. He said
he same thing harder. Pause. Yeah. He's gonna hit. what we're gonna get. We got mid Mike. We got Mike Taggart in the salary guys that he's Mike.
We gotta realize it.
He's a product of Jordan Travis. He should be getting Jordan Travis half that salary. He get bought out. He need to get half the Jordan.
Exactly.
I believe we don't get go because my personal opinion is Florida State don't want a nigga to outshine Mike. Let's just keep it 100. Other than that, right. Been on the phone with him, it'd have been in works. It already, you feel me? So that's why I don't think it's gonna happen.
Now I add something you said, 438. The only way I see this shit working for Mike long term is if he does exactly what Ryan Day does. You spoke to that about Ohio State, which that's what we're expecting this offseason is get those dogs around you that basically protect you in the pack. You just be the CEO. Let the real dogs go out and hunt. Let the real dogs do the development. You do what you do. Yeah, you motivate. You send their speech to these players. You get, the everyday, the daily game plan. Because I'm not going to sit here and say Mike's not buttoned up. Now, on the field, we still have some question marks about being consistent. But he's buttoned up enough where if you get the right recruiters and developers around you, I think it could help him, a la Dabo, a la Day. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He works the CEO angle. Be the leader, the leadership in what you're saying, and allow those guys who do the dirty work. Let them do their fucking job.
Yeah, just go out and get you some dog recruiters because obviously you're not really liked in high schools in Florida. You don't have them relationships. So go out and get you some guys that do. You just sit back, manage it in the CEO role, and let them stock out the talent for you. You don't have to meet everybody. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to meet everybody. You're not as impressionable as you think. You're not as likable as you think.
Yeah. Oh, he has to have a moment where he looks in the mirror. Yeah, we want to shout out our boy Keese. Another name that was on that 21 team, Pokey Wilson. Give him credit too. Heart and soul of the 2022 team. One of those key guys that went unnoticed as far as to the success of the 2022 season. Guy that we could definitely fucking use right now. I think we could at least get 2 games. We at least be 3 games with him because we know he's gonna catch the damn ball at least.
Yeah.
But man, we're gonna say
right there.
Yeah, that is a big fact, man. We missing a player like Pokey Wilson right now. He would have made a difference in at least 2 of these games.
At least 2.
At least 2 of these games that were close. That Georgia Tech game, most notably, maybe the Memphis game.
Duke.
Yeah, or at least Duke. Yeah. But we're gonna go into this is something between that you and Breezy.
Would have had a chance with DJU.
No, it wouldn't have been to the change, man. Well, maybe they would have probably went to another QB if they know they had a more reliable wide receiver in that situation, But Breezy, you and 438 wanted to start this segue. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up here for our viewers. This has been another part of the talk after we get past Mike. Some of us have been in and out with Atkins and what to do. Some have been on Atkins about keeping him because it'll keep what we have left of the class for this year together, which majority of it is offensive line. Some want him gone because they blame him for the offensive line's failures over this past season and even some of the inconsistencies we've seen in past seasons. But this is a good question, and I'm gonna let you guys go in and cook, and then Steve, you'll follow, and then I'll follow after you, Steve. It's Atkins really the problem, people?
I really think Atkins the problem, man. Like Steve just you want to see who's still recruiting, who's still running your recruiting, who's still recruiting. That's Alex Atkins. He the only one. He got you a 5-star. He got you Mario Nash. He even got you Pierre. You get what I'm saying? So he's holding your recruiting class together. Also, I also feel like he's not really truly the problem. If he getting the guys that he feels like guys, but they're not being physically developed. That's on strength and conditioning. So you supposed to help your offensive line coach. I'm pretty sure he almost on every interview he throws shade at the strength and conditioning coach, meaning his kids need to be betterly developed. You understand me? So I really don't think Atkins is necessarily a problem, especially if I'm a coach like Mike Norvell. I'm gonna adjust to the strengths of my offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? So right now we big and slow, we can't pull. So everything shouldn't be counters and pull and this and that should be straight downhill, down forward a little bit, hat on hat, and at least get some movement as you can see in the Duke game. You can't blame everything on Atkins because since Atkins been back, the run game has been better. I think he'll be demoted but not fired. He's a dog recruiter. He's holding your recruiting class together. And if you lose Atkins, you lose this recruiting class and kids last year that he brought in. And you basically have no offensive line at all.
Yeah.
Okay. See, the thing I'm gonna agree with you on is the strength and conditioning, but the eye for talent, I don't think so. If you really look at it, Alex Atkins he got one player drafted. One player in 2020. He went to the Jets, 4th round. You know where he at right now? He ain't in the league no more. If you look at Atkins' top 5 recruits, look at his top 5 recruits. They highly talented. They got high grades. What are they doing on the team right now? They ain't playing. They ain't doing nothing.
You get what I'm saying? So like, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're just not physically fit to go out here in this grown man game, I can't put you out there.
I feel that, but the thing is, he don't develop, bro. He don't develop.
What you mean develop? Darius Washington was a bum when he came in. He was one of the PFF best graded, and he's still not physically fit. So if you give me a real strength and conditioning coach, imagine what I can do with a real strength and conditioning coach with the talent that I do have. The raw guys, the young guys, the naturally talented guys, ones with the quick feet. You give me someone that can physically get them stronger, get them ready, get them on the right nutritional plan, gain their weight. I have a successful offensive line.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. How many All-Americans does he have in 5 years?
American, because he's not going out getting them type of caliber guys that's one of the ones that's coming and rated like a Seton. You know how much Seton costed? So that's back to your GM, because hell, he had Patty committed.
I don't know. Because if you it's like what I said in the space the other day. All his players end up being GAs, assistants, they end up being like coaches. They don't go to the league.
But most
look at his best 2 linemen was Gibbons and Love Taylor. What are they doing right now?
But them was portal players.
But those was his best. Those was his best O lineman he got so far, though. Those are his best O linemen.
Yeah, that's what
been here for 5 years, bro. 5 years.
Like price range when it comes to recruiting these tackles and stuff. So to get a true tackle gonna cost you 1.1, 1.5.
And I like that you said that. That's another thing. When the last time we had a true tackle, bro?
They cost. And when have Florida State didn't even pay for Carter Smith in the portal, you think they're gonna pay a high school kid?
When the last time he recruited a true tackle?
Solomon Thomas, 5-star committed right now. What are you talking about?
Now, in respect to what Breezy said there, I interject here because there is some projection that Solomon may end up being a guard. It's a possibility, just to throw it out there.
That's all he recruit, bro. Yeah, all right.
True tackles
I'm trying to tell you, son. I'm trying to tell you.
True tackles cost, and if your school not willing to pay for them, why waste your time?
Bro.
He only could
work with 2 All-Americans, bro.
You only could work
2 All-Americans. And they was transfers. He been here for 5 years. He got
Love Taylor's an All-American. That's a Sun Belt Conference transfer. That's bull job All-American. But yeah, Gibbons was serviceable. But yeah, I agree to your point. Why hasn't there been another All-American since then?
Yeah.
And you gotta think about it too, son.
The improvement with Darius there. So Darius is gonna be the first one that gets drafted this year. Him at Florida State. He's gonna be the first lineman that gets drafted. But I think that in terms of tackles, Lucas Simmons, but he's not on the field.
Yes.
That go to my point though.
And but with Lucas, they say it's not necessarily technique. I even heard the same thing about Julian Armella. It's some things he had to learn. It's the physicality. And if it's the physicality, we got to have that discussion. It is, we brought up his strength.
So is that the eye for talent?
But the thing about it is, Simmons is he a redshirt freshman this year?
Redshirt freshman.
That's 2. Or is he a sophomore? Yeah, redshirt freshman.
Yeah, because last year he was basically medically. Yeah, he never got cleared, pretty much.
Now, exactly. So you got to give a little bit of leeway with that, because injury is going to prevent his time of working out. We don't know where he's at there. But the biggest question is Julian Armella. We can say, is it talent, or is it the fact that there's strength? He came in at 6'6", 285 pounds. That's a tackle size. But if he's still not meeting the measurements and the strength requirements, then that's not on Atkins as far as getting him physically prepared. He can get him mentally prepared and developing a technique. But that's on the strength and conditioning coach, and it's also on Armella and who he's working with in the offseason. Because we can't take all the blame can't go on Atkins. We have to put some on the players. But I want to bring this up, and then y'all can continue to segue and talk about this. The 22 class, he brought in Jalen Early, Julian Armella, Quayshawn Sapp. He also brought in Daughtry Richardson, Antavius Woody, and Kanaya Shalton. That class consisted of Shalton, Woody, and let's see, and
Don't forget about
Bobby Richardson.
and Sap being and Estes. That he's still
Ty
here,
Hilton,
but still listed. Yeah, still listed at 285, 290. But he's been here what, 5 years? What are we doing? Sap's gone. Charlton's gone.
I want to play devil's advocate too with 438. 438 said it costs, right? And that makes complete sense. But not everything is money, as you know. And when it comes to looking at what he's doing currently, what lets you know if you're an elite blue chip offensive tackle or an elite blue chip guard or center that you're going to play early at Florida State? There's no young guys on the line playing.
Nope.
You have to wait your turn. You have to wait your turn with guys that are already mediocre, that don't have the ceiling that you have.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is on development at that point. Yep. Your job is, hey, man, we know between you and me and your dad and your mom that's in this room, we know you're better than the guy that's been starting here for 2 years. But you got to be able to get on the field right away. You got to learn what I'm teaching you, and you got to get right in the weight room. Now, if Starnes isn't doing his job on that end, there's nothing the kid can do on that end. That kid's going to sit there. That lineman's going to sit there for 2 to 3 years. So Simmons, I've seen kids put 30 pounds of good weight in 1 year with the right strength and conditioning program. Yep. Simmons isn't where he needs to be yet. Exactly. Some of these other guys aren't where they need to be. Armella, that's not the case. Armella is the Tin Man. What he's missing is in his chest.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different. But there's two things. You're not going to get drafted because you haven't shown me that you can get a lineman drafted, and you're not going to play early if you're a blue chip lineman, and other schools are outbidding me. If I'm an elite offensive lineman with 3 points, and my parents and I have a conversation,
you got nothing to sell. You got nothing to sell.
I want to add one thing. Zane Herring. Y'all remember that name?
Yeah.
Class of what? 2023?
Yeah.
Was he a class of 2023?
No, 22, I thought it was.
22 or 21, one of the two. Either way. The kid transferred. He ended up transferring down. He went to USF. But in that process, he became an all-conference lineman. He got out of that system or whatever it was that he was around, and he progressed. He didn't regress, even though he transferred down. There was a substantial change in production. Kind of reminds me of a great value version of what's the name that went to Alabama. You know, he wasn't as heralded.
Dickerson.
But he
happened in 2020.
2020. So he left 2 years ago. But he ended up having he's been positive. He has had positive results since leaving. So that's really the question is, as we're asking, is it Atkins? Is it his development, or is it strength and conditioning? And my thing is, I'm more on the fence of its strength and conditioning, because when you go turn on the tape, you're seeing how many times have we seen, even last year, 22, it's 4th and 1, it's 3rd and 1. We can't get a fucking push at all. Our quarterback Jordan's having to roll off. Look at the run Luke had against Miami last week. He had to shoot out that bitch and squeeze out. No Diddy, but it's for real. I mean, I'm just being 100. If y'all think about it, how many short yardage games? We came into the season thinking that DJ being 250 would help us get some push, but we couldn't even get fucking push on the line. That is strength and conditioning, man. That ain't all technique. Atkins is going to teach technique. He's going to teach footwork. He's going to teach where to be, who to block, climb to the second level, sifting, whatever you need to do. When it comes to blocking technique, pulling your foot angles, all of that shit.
I gotta add to it because I've been going back and forth. Even with this conversation with y'all, I'm leaning with Breezy sometimes. I'm leaning with 438 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning with. What I will say is, I think the issue is strength and conditioning for sure, but I think Atkins' mentality is the issue. I feel like without being in that room, Atkins feels like whatever you give me, I'm gonna make the most out of. Give me a Dimitri Emmanuel, a 6'2" guard that's 270 pounds that should not be starting at the Power 5 level. Give him to me. And Dimitri Emmanuel was able to be an honorable mention, 3rd team All-ACC. Mm-hmm. So he's more of well, you give me some ingredients, I'm going to cook it up, and we're going to be all right, rather than honing down and spending all his time on getting the elite talent, paying, like 438 said, for that elite talent. Hey, man, my scheme is enough to get these guys to be successful on Saturday. But if you give me a guy that's already here, rather than have them work him up there, then that's completely different. That's on his mentality as well. So he's looking at it, well, you know, I missed on that 5-star kid. He's going to go to Clemson. He's going to go to Bama. All right, well, I'll just deal with the guys that we have. And he loves older players. So he's recruiting even guys that you mentioned that are 4 stars and whatever, and you're still bringing in guys from the portal to start over them. Come on, man.
My thing to touch on this point is if Atkins' technique is so bad, look at Jacob Rizzi. Jacob Rizzi is a prime example of Alex Atkins is coaching the offensive line. Watch him against UM. Watch him against UM, the technique he used, the way he moved to the climb to the second level. It's just sometimes it's on the players. Sometimes the players just mentally not there. You know, like Maurice Smith, he probably checked out. Some of them players on the offensive line are mentally probably checked out. But it's touch. If you develop the young elite talent, you don't have to deal with them old ass niggas.
And I like how you said that. Develop. He don't develop. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. He don't. 0 people in the league, bro.
Well,
0. How do you sell that to recruits? How can you go to a recruit and be like, hey, come here, let me show you what I'm gonna do with you. And then you look, you like, damn, all these niggas is assistants. This nigga ain't even in the league. He ain't even in arena football. Like, you feel me? Like, it's like, bro, no.
But the thing is, okay, what I would say this, and this will be the last thing for me before we segue, is look at the Clemson film, look at the Miami film. You ain't got to watch the plays. Just watch the body compositions as they stand next to each other. That Miami line on both sides looked a hell of a lot different in their body composition than what we have. We have a few guys that meet those measurements, but it should be at this point with the amount of guys that we have in the trenches that has been in the system at minimum 2 years. There's no reason that Armella isn't at the right where he needs to be. There's no reason you took a guy in Jalen Early who came in over 300 pounds. He's now 290 pounds. Why is he losing weight? Now, if you're trying to break him down and build him back up, he's been here 3 years. That process should have already taken place. And he's a red shirt. You understand? So he's technically been here, what, 3, almost 4 years. We shouldn't be having this question. That's solely on the strength and conditioning staff. What are you doing? And then you got to ask the players, what are you guys doing in the offseason to make sure that when you're not around this staff that's going to be around you more than the coaches? If anybody that knows ball knows the strength and conditioning staff is around more than the coach, the position coaches and the head coach, because they spend the most time with you. There's some things and there's some restructuring within that system, the nutrition system, that needs to change. Jimbo knew it when he was here. Bobby established it when he was there, but those were different eras. We're talking about the era of now and where it needs to be. And I call bullshit on what we've been seeing over the last years. The Built by Storms motto, I have questions about it. I do. That mantra, I have questions because I'm tired of seeing my trenches get pushed around.
Yeah. So does he keep his job?
No, he should be gone. He should have been out there.
Yeah.
Does he keep his job this offseason?
No.
We're sure about this.
It shouldn't.
So I'm not gonna go on the climb. I'm not gonna see the climb YouTube and see Storms with a camo t-shirt and a sweaty hat.
It's highly likely because he's a Mike guy. He's followed Mike from Arizona State to Memphis to now. So you gotta put that scenario into play here. I mean, we can't say that he's just gonna. It's just like Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson, up until these 2 tight ends and Landon Thomas, and then moving Amari Williams over, has gotten nothing out of the tight ends. The best tight end we've had under this staff was a transfer in Jaheim Bell.
Yep.
The most production, 500 yards last year. That's the most production we've gotten.
But he can recruit, right?
But he can no. He just proved he can recruit this past cycle.
Somebody put on here Atkins is what the fuck was it? I'm trying to read the message regarding Atkins getting demoted. That's not gonna happen. I'll tell you that right now. That man will go take another job. Even if it's a demotion at another school, he'll do that before he takes the demotion here. Because then how can I sit in a room if I'm going to be asked to continue to recruit and be a part of these people that, you know, when these recruits come over, they want to come speak to you. I'm a recruit. I'm not talking to you. You got demoted. So what do you got to tell me? Yeah. I'm talking to the guy who's been established for 7-8 years in a large program that's put guys in the league that's done all these things for players. These guys have too much pride to get demoted and stay in the same spot. It doesn't happen that way. So more likely he'll go somewhere else. More likely he stays, but getting demoted and staying, that's not a possibility in my opinion.
Yeah. One more thing to tag on that with the OC thing and the demotion. All of a sudden I heard it was put on the timeline in the chat, but it was mentioned that Miami is starting to, with their situation at OC, they starting to throw Go-Go name out there.
These
so
boys can't call a big brother everywhere they go, boy.
They do, but yet call us little brother, but yet you emulate everything little brother does. It's a complex, man. But if that scenario was to play out, that is yet another black eye for the staff and for the head man. because this guy you recruited, this guy you groomed as a wide receiver, this is a guy who is verbally and has documentation giving you credit for a lot of successes in his life, and you didn't make it happen because of your, once again, humorous mindset, arrogant.
Yeah.
You want to run the ship. You want to. We know offensive coaches always want to call the plays. We had this situation with Jimbo. We saw that shit play out. But will Mike do what Bobby did? Bobby was an offensive caller. He turned it over to Chad Scott. Then later, what's the name? Dang. Went to Georgia. I forgot. Mark Richt. He turned over to Mark Richt to call the offense. Even, so will Mike grow from that, like we said, and fully become the CEO? So as we move on, we're going to segue into one of the best parts. 438, this is your category, little parlay picks for the fam, for the viewers. But I'm going to go on and hit this little segue for everybody. Go ahead and get the games in, brother.
Fun for the money. And this week we're gonna take Ohio State over Penn State. Ohio State coming off a lackluster performance against Nebraska. Look for them to put belt to ass to Penn State. As you can have a good field right here. Ole Miss. We'll take Ole Miss over Arkansas. We're gonna go Ole Miss over Arkansas. I like Lane come out strong this week and have. I like Lane out strong this week. Take Ole Miss money line.
Fuck Penn State.
Yeah. We got Kansas State, Houston, brother.
Kansas State, a one-loss team right now. Very strong run game, very strong performance, very great defense. Houston can't score points. Take Kansas State. Houston can't
Kansas State.
Yeah, take Kansas State money line. We eat with the spread.
Okay, Kansas State money line. And we transition into our next game. It should be Navy versus Rice.
Take Navy. After Navy just gets blown out by Notre Dame, look for Navy to respond heavily over Rice. They're going to play lockdown defense, run the ball, and put up some points. Take Navy with the spread. Navy's going to roll.
Navy to roll. See, we transition, and our next game will be breaking down. As we see here, we got Nebraska, UCLA, my brother.
Take Nebraska -7 to come up with this point. Lost to Ohio State. UCLA struggles to score points. Look for Raiola to have it going against UCLA. Take Nebraska by 6.
All right. We got Nebraska, UCLA. As they watch these little highlights to lead them in, we prepare to watch the UGA UF game. Biggest cocktail, with a great cocktail party, whatever it is at Jacksonville.
Florida.
Dogs on top, man.
Dogs. I got the dogs in that one. It's going to transition. There we go. We got the cocktail.
Most definitely take Georgia to roll over the Gators. They're going to shut Lagway down. They're going to get out the Lagway, and they're going to make them have a real wake-up call to the SEC this week and take Georgia to roll. I highly doubt Florida score 7.
You doubt they score 7?
Yeah, I 17. I doubt they score 17. I like to score around 30. 30. Take Georgia.
All right. Take Georgia. All right. That concludes our segment for your parlays and your prize picks. 438's Munyon for the Funyon. We're going to segue into our next part of the show. This one is a little interesting. We came up with it. We hope that our viewers enjoy it. But we're going to let you kick it off, 438, but I'm going to hit this little roll in right here for everybody. We're gonna introduce our first YN of the day. It's Keandre McCormick. I'm gonna hit his huddle film. You go ahead and talk a little bit about him and what you know, what he brings to the table. 438.
Hey, yeah, this is one of my young bulls I'm currently working on trying to get on D1. This is Keandre McCormick, cornerback for West Dakota, out of Clermont, Florida. Lockdown cornerback, great skills, great hands, great head on his shoulders. I think he's 5'10", 175, runs a 4.48. Great ball skills. Watch him play the ball right here. Boom, get it. That's what I'm talking about. Get ready to get after the ball. Watch the return. Watch him move. Okay, yeah, my young boy, he's a class of 2025 right now, looking for a major D1 offer. Let's watch him again right here. Lock down the good technique, good hands. Boom, 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 boom. Play the ball. Boom, turnover. Watch him again as he lines up right here.
Good jam, inside
Boom,
shoulder.
good jam. Come back. Boom.
Oh, trailed off, moved off to the next man.
Great ball. Plays the ball well in there.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, good physical on the outside. Plays the ball. Come on, get it to him. Come on, man. Come on. Keandre McCormick. Remember that name, Keandre McCormick. DB.
Keandre McCormick.
My wife.
All right. We show one more highlight of him, and then we can transition on.
Boom, boom. Look at him. Good hands. Come on, you ain't getting that. Lock down. Seat belt.
Locked down, strapped up. All right, the next one, Breezy. We're gonna move on. It's Devin Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Devin Fitzgerald, Larry Fitzgerald's son, about 6'2". I think it's about 190. This right here look like this is freshman highlights right here. A little deep ball. You feel me? But he been doing good this year. He's been doing decent. I think he was I think he a 3-star right now. 3-star. They got him as a 3-star. Got a Cal offer, Minnesota, Temple. He got a couple offers right now, but he only a sophomore, 6'2". You feel me? So I mean, he got good hands. That's Larry's son right there. You feel me? So you know he gonna catch the ball. You feel me? But you feel me? Quick little son right there. Get off the line, fit the zone, hit the middle.
All right.
You got to break that right there though. But you feel me?
Okay. Yeah, he got good hands, man. Good hands.
Yeah, he got good hands.
I mean, he's gonna know how to run routes. He's gonna know how to get open. He's gonna know all those little tricks.
Look at that block right there. That's a good block.
Oh yeah, he took him on to the sideline. End of the whistle.
Yeah.
Ron Dugans would love that.
Man, chill out. Hell no.
I want him on my team now. Ron, did you see the routes? No, I saw him block that, damn it. That's all I need.
That's all he needs to see. Fuck it.
Oh man. All right, we're gonna transition to our next one, Mr. Braden Thompson. Go ahead.
Braden Tyson.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Running back about 6'2", 235, big back, elite speed. This game right here is against Parkview High School. He set the school record, 380 yards on 16 carries, 5 touchdowns. Right, that long speed is what you see. The genetics are fantastic. They're excellent. His father, D'Angelo Tyson, played tackle at the University of Georgia. Originally from Statesboro, Georgia, played for the Ravens, won a Super Bowl in 2014. This kid, I've known him since he's 9 years old, coached him for a couple of years, so it's personal to me on this one, man. The elite speed, but the physicality. They call him Thanos. He just bounces off of tackles, contact balance. Once he's a long strider, and anywhere in the vicinity, that stiff arm is coming, man. The stiff arm is elite. Guys try to chop him down. He's done a good job of being able to jump over guys, get angles through guys, be able to run past them. But that stiff arm is the elite part of this level. Now, granted, that short area burst right there in the box, in a phone booth, getting out of trouble right there. See, he's trying to chop him down. Long speed, stiff arms coming just in case. Doesn't need it right there, right? This kid right here, in my opinion, I've been telling him since he was a kid, he's got it all, right? He's got the mentality, he's got the work ethic. Will he continue to grow? Him being 6'2", 235 as a running back, they're doing the best they can to kind of keep him down at that weight. Because if not, he's going to have his hand in the dirt like the dad, right?
Yeah.
Plays in the game right here on 4th down. Straight wildcat snap for the money. Outruns the defenders. Okay. Josh Norman's little brother's on this team that he just played against right there.
Okay.
Like I said, man, reads the holes, very patient. If you can see him side by side, he's almost the size of some of his linemen. Obviously, being a high school DB at the 6A level, which is the highest classification in Georgia, it's scary seeing something that big move at you that fast, man. You got to make a business decision at that point. Braden Tyson, 4-star. I wanted to go ahead and break down some of the offers at the moment. We got Auburn, Michigan, Vanderbilt, Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, TCU, Wake Forest, Western Kentucky, Memphis, Florida State, Michigan, Appalachian State, UConn, Georgia State, Kentucky, Central Michigan, Texas Tech, Wisconsin, Tennessee, South Carolina, and many, many more that I just missed. Real deal Holyfield, man. Class of 2027. And like I mentioned, he has a Florida State offer. I already give him knowing the kid. I already give his leaders right now. He's been told he's the number one running back on Ohio State's board. They personally told him that. And he also loves Oregon as well. So Florida State's got some work to do if we're going to go that route. As you can see, he's got hands there. That's one of the game-winning plays. That's the game-winning touchdown 2 weeks ago. Last week, I don't know if it's in this highlight clip. Last week, game on the line, there was 5 seconds left. The ball game was tied. Defense thinking that they're going to take a Hail Mary shot. They literally ran a sweep play to him, and he scored 80 yards to win the game as time expired. So, wow, possibly going to be the player of the year, at least definitely the region player of the year in 6A. Braden Tyson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Braden Tyson.
Beast, boy.
Yeah, he's like that.
Yeah, I'm about to say he looked good, boy.
He looked like a Big Ten. Like when I was just watching the film, I'm like, it's screaming Michigan and Ohio State.
Like what's that kid's name that's with the Jets? Braylon
Allen.
Yeah. Wisconsin. Yeah.
Even South Carolina, he's built like how South Carolina's develops there with wide receivers and running backs to look like. He's already looking like that at 235. Yeah, he could play in a certain system right now from what it looks like. Where you see him running a lot of pistol and stuff. So downhill, get him downhill.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like that.
Shout out to youngins, man. Shout out to the
youngins. Shout out to the YNs, our young nephews up in here.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So as we get to rolling into the final little stage of the show, we like to introduce everybody to a new segment within the show. I'm going to lead a little segue here for everyone to watch. Y'all just enjoy. And that is the segment called the Crash Out of the Week. I believe I got Steve. You got the lead on this one here.
Yeah, I got the clips. I don't know if you want to run it. I emailed them to you. Do you want to run it that way, or you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, share them on your screen, and we'll just bring them up that way.
That'll work. Let's get to it here in a second, man. 438. Do you want to talk a little bit about your crash out of the day before we get right into it? Because this is your clip right here, right? This is you were just casually roaming around, looking at the lovely timeline, and you saw a little bit of what's the scoop, man? Give us the scoop.
Over spaces like I normally do, and I just heard some wild shit, man. Like it shouldn't have got that personal, it shouldn't have got that deep, and y'all, they most definitely crashed the fuck out.
All right, let's see this game. Let's do this. Let's do it.
All right, let me bring it up.
There you go.
Got it.
This is a couple clips. This is the first clip that one of my favorite. It's a 5-minute crash out, which is rare in the crash out documentary. But we're gonna go with my favorite first part right here.
Come on, this is what I'm pressed about.
Every time a nigga be like,
yo, this nigga right here, yo, I want everybody
to know what you pressed about.
Every time a nigga be like, okay, anytime a nigga say, I gotta listen real closely, guys. Well, listen, I gotta
man, on my kids, I don't gotta lie about nothing, fam. You niggas ain't born me.
Hold on, yo, I gotta
supposed to be scared of a nigga with a Taliban picture and a Giannis.
No, you're supposed to be scared of a nigga that dish your mama and shake his hand. No, it's a lot of shit you're not supposed to do. Nah, let me expose it. No, nothing you say. It's a lot of shit you ain't supposed to do, nigga, real quick. We don't know you, Twinkie man. You's a jabroni, bro.
You don't know nobody. You not from down here,
bro.
You ain't met these niggas a day in your life.
That's my point. You be trying to kick it with these niggas. You said it 50 times. You don't fuck with these niggas. Duh, it's the internet. That's no problem, bum ass nigga. You just figured that out. You're 40 years old. You just figuring that out. You fucking jabroni. Get your life right, bum ass nigga.
It's real dangerous. Just because it's pussy niggas on there, don't mean it's not
somebody else. I'm not the one. I know you. I keep telling you that, bro.
You don't know me, fam. You've never met me a day in your life. You don't know me.
I know.
You don't know me, man. Why do you think you know me?
Niggas say you put up to the city and didn't link with us. Duh, look at you, jabroni.
Who pulled up to what city? Who pulled up to what city?
That's my first clip right there. What do y'all think about that one so far, man? Is crash out rating? The crash out rating is about a 10.
Yes,
definitely. T9 is Funny boy.
Hey, man, shout out both them boys, man.
Shout out both of them
boys.
because I didn't heard my Mr. Top Flight crash out before, and this is a classic crash out from him. Classic.
Hey, get them boys a follow, man.
Yeah, get them boys a follow. Shout out to T9, shout out to Flight, man. T9 most definitely gonna give you the trolls you're looking for.
Man, hold on. Niggas looking at dick all off season. Now he popping big money. You broke ass nigga. Let's talk about it. You came in that bitch popping big money, and you said, "Yo, let's bet." You came into niggas talking about let's bet, nigga.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pay my bets when they can.
Nah,
they
nigga,
don't
what
care.
the fuck?
Except you. I don't get how that's. I don't get how that's bad, bro. You
Gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta love it, man.
Awesome.
Gotta love it.
Awesome, man. Hilarious.
That's out of the week right there, man.
Awesome, man. You got any more?
We didn't get a chance to have this segment last week, man.
My
crash out was Michelle Beadle, man. I'm sick and tired of this pilgrim, man. Sick and tired of her always saying some shady stuff about our greats, man. When what has she accomplished? According to my research, Michelle Beadle had to take some money from her father, and he assisted in her actually getting her start in the industry. So you're gonna hate on somebody that got it on their own, essentially. At the end of the day, LeBron can't play games for LeBron Jr. or whatever the situation may be. The kid was a great high school player. However you feel about him, that's one thing. But to take time out of your day to hate on him when we have a million different storylines in sports, just don't sit right with me, man. That glass of milk is gonna be my donkey of the week from last week. Okay.
My donkey of the week for last week gonna be Melina Myers with the whole DJU chain situation and all that. She have been known to say some wild shit. Your photography cool, just stick to taking fucking pictures because you threading on a thing. You threading on some thin ice, with the wild shit you saying. Like we may talk about DJU far as, on the football field, but for him as a man, hey, he one of us. And we gonna always take up for him. So, chill the fuck out with me.
Yeah. My crash out is going to go to, it's not totally political, but Ryan Gradusky and the comments he made to Mahdi Hassan about, I hope your beeper don't go off. Mahdi Hassan happens to be of Arab descent. They were having some political discussions, and he basically did a nasty little reference to basically a car bomb, or one of your beeper type, your little bombs, IED, things like that. And it was really like it caught everybody off guard, and he was out of place. I also throw one more to the comedian at the whatever name at the Orange Man's rally, who reference about sitting down and cutting watermelon and shit like that. Some shit's funny, some shit's bullshit, and it's just more bullshit from the same people. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. Keep creating a thin ice. You create thin ice, man.
Who you got, Brief?
Shit, donkey of the day, Mike Norvell.
Always.
For the second week in a row. For fucking losing to Miami, man. I can't, man. He about to be donkey of the day for the rest of the year, nigga.
The rest of your life.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Well, that concludes this third episode of the Daily Chop, the second official Thursday episode. Everything went well. We like to appreciate all our viewers, all our fans, everything that's supporting all our supporters. Please make sure once again that you like, share, subscribe. Please repost, quote, tweet, engage the page, engage us on the line, watch it on YouTube. Please hit a thumbs up. We got more coming. We're going to continue to keep growing. Y'all keep growing with us. We're going to keep chopping it up, and we just hope y'all keep chopping it up with us. Anybody else got anything y'all want to tag? Put it out there.
I appreciate you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You already know how it go. We ain't gonna let nobody stop our show. We're gonna keep you the raw and uncut taped around the world. We are the voice for the people. Make sure you don't forget today. I mentioned that, boss man. Dwayne Wade fucked up ass statue. And I don't know if he was looking like, I don't know if they want to make him like the mummy, but he damn sure like some shit.
What the fuck?
Get you. You need to fix that, boy. They said look like fucking Zeron and free dirt. Free Smurf.
Free dirt. Stop snitching.
Hey, put self-snitching on that. Stop self-snitching.
Hey, Steve, go on and put your YouTube everything out there, man. Go on and get it. Let everybody know, man. Tap in with you at, bro.
You know what it is, man. See the hat, you know the vibe, man. Rock out the rest of the show with this, man. The rest of it, man. At SB Prime Media. You know what it is. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, etc., man. Just happy to be here with y'all boys.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and get your plug off, Breezy.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Just make sure they tune into the spaces because it's always
yeah.
And then I'll tap in with them. Make sure y'all tap in with Double D's Let's Talk Ball podcast. Check out my boy D from D's Corner, DSCORNER. Get all your NFL information and everything. We'll get up on the gaming shit with D's Double D's Let's Talk Gaming, from NCAA to Madden and everything in between, man. We just really appreciate everybody for the support. And we appreciate you and peace out.
Shout out to the Daily Chop.
Shout out to the Daily Chop.
We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive.